What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you some Woo content today. And actually, I have a special guest. If you've been in the Woo Discord, then you would definitely come across Bookerman before. So, Bookerman, I want to welcome you onto the channel. I am super pumped to talk about Woo and this project that you have going on. So, let's start off with just giving you a chance to introduce yourself, your involvement in the project, and then we can start digging into the project details. And if you want to give a little bit of the project history as we start too, I think that'd be great.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me. I am Bookerman, the Woo CEO, creator, and founder. I'm excited to be here. You're saying you're excited to have me. I'm excited to be a part of this. I love talking about Woo to anyone I get a chance to talk about it to because what we're looking to do is something really unique. We're really deep down, we're trying to change how a whole class of worker is compensated. In the United States, wrestlers are independent contractors, which means they don't get some of the same benefits that regular employees would get. And
Mm-hmm.
we're really trying to give back to the wrestling community and leave wrestling a better place than when we found it. That's the whole mission of Woo.
Cool, cool. I know specifically what you would like to do is take some of the sales that you get from NFTs and take that around and like support some of these independent wrestlers through their merch stores and then offer that as giveaways. Are there other ways in the future that you want to like give back to the community or stuff that you have maybe in the pipeline?
Yeah, there's different ways that wrestlers can be partnered with Woo. For example, you could be partnered with us where we release an NFT version of your likeness within the Woo universe, the ecosystem. And with that, like, so for example, so far we have three partners. We had our first partner was Perry Saturn, and we held our first sale, which was the Perry Saturn pre-sale. Anyone who bought Woo Alpha packs would get a one-to-one airdrop of a Perry Saturn pack,
Mm-hmm.
which gives you a chance at a Perry Saturn NFT. And actually, Perry got 10% of those sales. So we sold, like I said, 10,000 packs at $2 a piece. We gave him $2,000 for that sale, and he also got another $1,500 for our private sale that we held just before that. So $3,500 we were able to get over to Perry Saturn. Raven, when he came in, we had our Raven sale that was on
Mm-hmm.
actually Father's Day, and you got Raven packs airdropped to you. For that sale, Raven got 10%. And then our general sale coming up on October 31st, all the wrestlers that we have partnered with on any of our general sales where their card isn't specifically released with that sale, they are put in a pool where the pool shares 10%. And that's ongoing. So when we do our land sale, Perry Raven and all of our partners are going to get 10% of that land sale. When we do our future beta sale and all sales in the future, they're going to be cut in on that. Not only that, but they also get the entire market fee for their NFT. So, for example, Perry Saturn gets a 5% fee. Same with Raven. So, if one of their NFTs sells for $100, they'll be getting $5 kicked back to them in perpetuity.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay.
that's one way. Well, kind of two ways that if you're partnered with us, where you can earn some income passively, but we also can partner with wrestlers where we don't release their NFT likeness, but we will buy merchandise from their stores. We'll buy their 8x10s, their T-shirts, their props, and we'll use those for community giveaways. We're also planning on doing kind of like a subscription, like loot box, where
Mm-hmm.
people could actually subscribe, and we would actually mail them out every month a box of wrestling memorabilia, and we're working on that currently, where you will be able to subscribe with using your Woo token. That token will be burnt, and you would actually be getting a monthly subscription package.
Cool, man. Well, you guys have a lot going on now. I said this in the video that I posted and in several live streams. Like Woo is something that seems to have been crossing my radar a lot. So I'm glad that I was able to get in when I did, or at least at this point in time, and just start exploring, just start dabbling. Now, if we could just go back, I have the white paper open, so it sounds as though You guys have been around probably even before 7 months ago when the white paper was posted. Obviously, the ideas were being generated at that time. Would you mind kind of going into the history of how this came about? Obviously, you're the founder, but I know you mentioned that there's several other folks on the team. So how did we get here today? If you can give us like the seventh plus month history of how we got here, because I really like where you're going and all the things that you're trying to do with the wrestling community. We were kind of nerding out in on Discord previously, where I used to watch wrestling back in the day, and it's something that I always had fun and appreciated. I just didn't have the time to keep up with it, but I'm kind of excited to dive into this because this might just give me a reason or that motivation to get back in. So how did this whole thing come about, 7+ months ago to where we're at today?
Oh yeah, and it's a great time to get back into wrestling. It's booming out there. But so I've actually been thinking of a wrestling video game for a number of years, but Wrestling Organization Online Woo was really conceived as in its form today in about, I would say, September. Yeah, it was around September was when I initially started kind of putting pen to paper and starting to think how this would work.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, it was myself, a very good close friend of mine who's also on the team, Captain Spaulding, and also another close friend and member of the team, Munchies McGee. We kind of just sat there and they would take calls from me in Discord or sit down with me and just listen to me talk about it and kind of hash it out. They'd give me some feedback, and it really built from there. It was in November that we started to actually put a team together. We started looking for some artists. That's when I met Dom the Sun,
Mm-hmm.
artist. He's our artist from Kenya, and he's a phenomenal artist that really understood the style we wanted to do and
Yeah.
what we wanted to go for, and he just grasped the vibe so well. And that was in November, I would say, and that's also when we started the Discord and Twitter. It was just very early on. I was just talking about mechanics, posting on Hive blog, the dirt sheet, posting other blogs, doing like character showcases and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it all grew organically and naturally. It's been a slow, steady growth, and that's something I've always prided the project on. There's so many projects. I've been in crypto since 2014,
Nice.
so
Okay.
I've been around for quite a while, and I've been involved with a lot of projects, and seeing how some projects have done things, and the ideas I had for, okay, this is kind of a better way we could do this. I was very utility driven on making sure our NFTs and our tokens, anything we released, had use, and not only use, multiple use. And I wanted right away to give back and kind of branch real life wrestling and blockchain wrestling. I wanted to bond those in a way, and that's when I came up with, okay, I can benefit these wrestlers uh, who over the course of years do a lot of damage to their bodies,
Yeah.
and at the highest level, wrestling, you can make a lot of money. But I've also been in the on the indie level, part of shows, and I've literally saw a guy come out of training, his first match, jumped over the top rope to kind of get in the ring, broke his leg as he landed, and
Wow.
and he paid in like something like $4,000 to be paid on training, and not every promoter is like this, but there's a lot of carny, scummy promoters where they'll pay you
Yeah.
$20. This is how the pitch usually goes in wrestling. You'll be at the gym working out, and some guy will come up walking up to you. Oh, brother, let me tell you what, you could make $1 million. I swear to God, I'll teach you how to wrestle. I'll put you in the ring. You're going to be in an arena, 50,000 people chanting your name. Imagine that. And you're just thinking, like, oh my God, yeah, I want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
$4,000. I'll take a check. Don't worry. You can make payments. what we're going to do is we're going to train you how to be a wrestler. You're going to have to pay your dues. By paying your dues, I'm going to have you drag the ring to the different shows. We're going to be going doing spot shows at bars. I'm going to need you to go around town and put posters up all around town, set the ring up, go ahead and talk to different businesses and try to sell them by giving you money for sponsorships. Make sure you bring me all the money. You don't get to keep any of it. And then what we're going to have you do is we're going to have you wrestle 2 matches. You're going to be in the first match in a tag team match because you don't know anything. You're green as goose shit, is what they like to say.
Mm-hmm.
And what after that, we're going to have you at a battle royal. At the end of the night, I'm going to pay you $20, but you're going to have to chase me down and drag me to the ATM to get your money. And if you don't try to get your money, I'm just going to keep screwing you over and over until you don't let me get away with it anymore. And that's how it's going to be for a number of years, like
Yeah.
when you're first starting. And there is a way we can fix that. You know what I mean? There's a way
Mm-hmm.
we can make that better, and we are working towards a way to, for example, with the indie guy, if they're part of our Woo organization and we start releasing their NFTs, they now have exposure to people in different countries that they
Yeah.
haven't traveled to yet. They're getting a little bit of money, so now it can pay for the gas to get to the indie show where you're wrestling 2 matches for $20. But you got to do this to get your name out there, and it's the littlest bit we can do to help and also bring awareness to that. That's one of the biggest things. Most people don't understand in the deep down what wrestlers go through, and by bringing awareness to that, that will just cause change over time. Like I say to people all the time, we're really trying to change how a whole class of worker is treated, and I'm really proud of that.
I no, I mean, like I said, I think it's great. It's well, first of all, your used car salesman voice is very much on point. Um, I a lot of this rings parallel for me, just because I come from the music side, and there's a lot of being sold the dream for independent musicians, right? A lot of places that
Yes,
pay to play, or pay to get some streams, or whatever the case is, which
exposure.
yeah, and ultimately, like, some of them might be legit. I'm not trying to say that it's all bad out there. I know that there's a lot of legitimate projects trying to help indie musicians, but at the same time, there's a lot of people just trying to make a paycheck, right? Just trying to just kind of make a cash grab. And what excites me about this kind of Web3 space is the intersection of like where music and NFTs and crypto kind of all come together. And it sounds like, when you talk about wrestling, I feel like I get that same. I'm looking in the mirror, just in like the wrestling mirror. Like, it's like you see a lot of these same pain points for the independent wrestlers, for the wrestling community, and you're hoping to be able to bridge something by bringing them all together here and having exposure that's international, decentralized, global. It's an exciting thing to hear, and I can definitely hear the passion that you have for it, for sure.
Oh, I definitely, and being a fan of wrestling my entire life, I'm going to date myself here, but I remember as a child, I'd be at my grandma's house, and how my grandma's house was, when you walked in the front door, there's the living room. Then if you just keep walking forward, you'd go through kind of an archway, and you'd be in the kitchen. Just keep walking forward, straight line. There's another archway, and now you're in the dining room. And there was a TV in the living room and in the dining room, and I would stand in the kitchen, Raw on one TV, WCW Nitro on the other TV, and I'd either be standing in the kitchen, like turning my head, watching one or the other, and then once one caught my eye, I would run over to the TV and be like, "Oh, Sting's on TV," or I'd run
Yeah.
over to the other one, like, "Oh, Mankind," like. So I've always been a fan of wrestling, and then I've also worked with and made a lot of relationships and connections with wrestlers through my work in the wrestling industry. I have 10+ years experience of working in the wrestling industry with wrestlers in various degrees, from the independent level all the way up to the WWE level.
Oh, very cool. Did not know that. So you actually have had your own boots on the ground, kind of seeing how things are, and are trying to make that change now.
And exactly, and I have a broad point of view on the industry that not many people have. And I was talking to Captain Spaulding, again, a very good friend of mine. He's also on the Woo staff, and I was discussing to him. I was like, I really am the perfect person for this project because I've been in crypto, and I've looked into crypto for a number of years, and then also my connections in the wrestling industry, my knowledge of wrestling. What we are
Hmm.
doing with Woo is blockchain wrestling, or excuse me, territory wrestling on the blockchain, old school territory wrestling. The the experience you're going to get in the gameplay of Woo is exactly how it would play out in real life. Like if you were a promoter and you were traveling around from town to town, and you were bringing the wrestlers you have in your address book with you, to book these shows, and if fans come, you get a good payday. If they don't come, it's not the best payday, but it's a exact version of how it would
Hmm.
be in real life, only on the blockchain.
Yeah, well, let's actually, if you don't mind, I'd love to segue into where the game is at right now. I had a chance to listen back on the AMAs that you guys do, which I believe is every week, every Saturday. Is that right? After Woo Jeopardy.
Yeah, so Woo Jeopardy was Fridays, later in the day. We've
Hmm.
switched the time zone to give other people the opportunity to check it out. We're doing them on Twitch now too, so then we can have VODs and highlight them for
Yeah.
people to go back and look at. But yeah, it will be twitch.tv/restorg online. Every Saturday this month, we will be doing them. I would say join the Discord. We got them in the events
Oh,
section
yeah, yeah. That might be the best way because then you can see it in your own time zone.
in your own time zone, exactly. And the cool thing is we do pretty awesome prizes. This last week we had first place got 1,000 Woo tokens, one random Woo NFT, and one
Hmm.
Woo Alpha pack. Second place got an Alpha pack and 500 tokens. Third place got 250 Woo tokens, and then everyone else who fully participated, and by fully participate I mean came in, watched the stream, and when I asked everyone to go in Discord and put their usernames in, they did. Got a 100 Woo tokens. So it's a great way to get Woo tokens, and get people onboarded onto Hive in kind of
Hmm.
a broad way.
Cool, cool. Okay, well, let's kind of dig into where the project is at now because you mentioned a couple different things. It sounds like you had the alpha pre-sale, and then there was a Raven as well as a Saturn sale, but there is going to be a general sale for these alpha packs. I believe you said in October. There's a Woo token, which right now you're able to stake. You're able to earn Woo tokens through a multitude of ways, as well as I think it's mining your NFTs is the term that you guys use. So we can even get into that. Um, and then I heard something yesterday where you said there will be, I guess, an additional token coming out at some point next year, and we can dive into that. But if you want to give people again the rough roadmap for what you're seeing through the end of the year, and then maybe early into next year, because as of now there's a mini game, but the launch I believe is happening next year, right? So if you want to just give kind of walk people through what Woo will look like over the next, we'll just say like 6 to 12 months, I think that would give everyone a good outlook on what to expect.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make it clear that the Woo token is the governance token. So
Yep.
that's going to actually give you the ability to uh, create proposals and have voting weight in our DAO, which is already released. So that is not only our play to earn token, but it's our governance token. Right now, this is what we have. We have the battle royal mini game, as you stated,
Hmm.
and that was. I want to make it clear that the mini game is to give people a very baseline idea of what we want to do gameplay wise and how gameplay will work out. And it shows you that, hey, we want to have entrances for our wrestlers with different
Hmm.
music. We want to have some pyro that maybe in the future you could buy packs that, or buy skins that give you different pyro or different entrance moves. And it was a very general idea of what the game's looking to be. That game isn't on the blockchain, so it doesn't actually write anything to the blockchain itself. It
Hmm.
just uses Hive Keychain to verify that you own the NFTs so that you could use them in the game.
Yep.
In the future, uh, we're talking next year, you will actually be able to play the game on your computer through the browser or on the mobile device, and those actions will be written onto the Hive blockchain.
Okay.
Over Yeah, and that'll be within the next year. Right now where we're at is we have our general sale coming up on Halloween. That is the 31st of October. We do have a website, wrestlingorganizationonline.com, that has a counter also, so you could actually
Hmm.
look on there and you would know exactly what time in your time zone that will be released. Those packs, there will be 30,000 packs for sale, which is the last 50% of the Woo Alpha packs. So that is all of the Alpha packs that are going to be on sale ever. Those are gone now after this.
Hmm. So there
Uh,
were 30,000 in the pre-sale.
so there was 5,000 private sale that we did to get initial capital. There
Okay.
was 5,000 packs that were issued to staff. There
Okay.
was 10,000 packs for the pre-sale, which was the Saturn pre-sale.
Hmm.
Then we had 10,000 packs for the Raven sale event, and then general sale is the final
Ah,
30,000.
got
So
it. Okay.
60,000 packs total, with the last 50% being released on
Halloween.
October 31st, Halloween, correct.
Got it.
Uh,
Okay.
those will be $2 a pack, and those are only purchasable with the Woo token. So you do
Oh,
have to
okay.
make sure you have the Woo token either through purchase off of secondary markets like Hive Engine and Tribal Decks, or through our NFT mining, which you spoke about earlier. And what NFT mining is what it actually is you have these wrestlers that you get from opening packs. As you saw, you got some cool cards like Sheila, and
I
you ended
did.
up
Yeah.
getting a Raven, which is awesome. So, for example, that Raven card, uh, if you went to the website, clicked on the little diamond, and you added it to the NFT mining pool, yeah, you would
Yeah. I can
actually.
actually show them. We can walk them through
Yeah,
this.
it's perfect. Yep, you got the little diamonds. That's the
Hmm.
NFT mining area, and we you have your collection there. We don't have a ton of filters right now. Our developer Tobias is currently working on it. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, I bet you that's where Raven's going to be. Yep, and
Yeah.
as
Well,
you can see,
so
it's
I added
already added.
Sheila and Raven based on your recommendation. So.
Oh yeah, so that Raven card right there, and so there's you got. It looks like you got two Raven cards, but what you actually have there is you actually have one playable Raven. That's the one without all the text on it.
Hmm.
Yep, and that is worth 2,080 mining points, which basically what we got going on for NFT mining is a raffle.
Hmm.
Every hour, 50 users will be chosen at random, and it goes by tickets essentially, mining
Hmm.
points. So every
Yeah.
so again that Raven is like 2,080 tickets. So you have 2,080 chances in that raffle to be one of the
Nice.
users chosen. Once a user is chosen, they're removed from the raffle. They can't be A user can't be chosen twice.
Okay. Is
And
that a daily thing or?
that's hourly.
Oh, hourly. Okay. So wait,
That's hourly.
if you're removed, are you removed for the rest of the day or rest of the week
Just
or?
that hour.
Oh, just that hour. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, just that hour for just that draw. And so right now you actually got some pretty decent mining power. Um, that Raven card that's next to the other one with all the text, that's actually what we call like a lore card. If you
Okay.
went to our mining post, we broke down all the mining and how it works. So that one is actually worth 100 raffle tickets. And if you compare that to like a gold belt common, our gold belt commons are incredibly rare. It's for anyone to get a gold belt, it's super, super rare.
Okay.
And the gold belt common is also worth 100 raffle points. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Okay. How much is Sheila
meaning
worth?
Sheila, that is okay. So she's an epic. That's
Hmm.
50, and then I think she's 100 also, or else it's 150. I'd have to double check because I think it's 50 or 75, and then as a manager, it's times two. So it would either be 100 or.
Gotcha.
And then
Okay.
commons are just worth one. That Ivan Shyster, that's actually another manager card.
Mm-hmm.
He's worth 2 points. So because he has the double for being a
Yep. For being a
manager,
manager.
rares I believe are 5. So the real value comes in on either the gold belt rares or
Mm-hmm.
higher, or the lore cards and Saturn and Ravens, because we wanted to give a lot of utility to those cards because we want people to buy them off the marketplace so that the wrestlers can get their 5%.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
No, so well, like I said, I'm still getting caught up on your like the whole Peak D articles, but like this is an interesting concept that you guys have added in, and I have already like won some woo from this and just gone ahead and staked it. My question for you though is, what other utility do the cards have right now outside of the mini game? Like, should I be trying to add as many or like at least all the duplicates that I have into the pool?
I, I would honestly add all of your cards into the pool,
Okay.
because right now, again, you got mining, and you can use your male single wrestlers, so your Artie Wrights, your Chase Martins, your Billy Mayhems. You can use those in the mini game, but even if they're added to the mining pool, you can still use them. The
Oh,
only
you
thing
can.
is, yeah, you
Okay.
can't sell them unless you remove them from the mining pool, and there's a 2-day cooldown. So
Got it.
if you
Okay.
went to go in and take your Raven out, you would have to wait 2 days before you could actually sell it.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Cool. So yeah, I won't do that now, but
Yeah, it looks
I'll
like
add them
you've
in
won
later.
2 drawings. It looks like, yeah, because
I
it's
have.
like
Yeah.
346, I believe, woo per draw,
I've
and
claimed it
yeah,
twice, so that sounds about right. Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. And with I mean, with having, only essentially 2,000 mining power and getting getting a pick twice, I'd say that's pretty good so far.
my, my luck seems to be doing well in this game. I gotta go all in.
Yeah, and if you look at the parachute, that's actually our airdrop page. If you
Yep.
want to go
Okay.
ahead and click that.
Oh, it's gonna make me
Oh,
log
got
in
to
here.
log back in. Yeah, verification.
Let's make sure. There we go. All right, so we'll go to the parachute for the airdrop.
All right, yeah, and so it looks like you have unclaimed airdrops. It looks like, yeah, airdrops happened about an hour ago. It's 18:30 UTC every day, and you can actually see a breakdown from the packs you hold at how much woo you got airdrop for each of those packs. And as packs are opened in each pool, like for example, as more woo alpha packs are opened, you will be getting more airdrop points because packs are removed from the pool. As more Saturn packs are open, you're going to get more airdrops because there's fewer in the pool. Same for
Fewer.
Raven.
Okay.
Yep. So right now there's been quite a few Saturn packs that have been open. So those are pretty healthy airdrops that you get with those packs.
Is this counting the Raven packs that I have? Because I think I have a couple unopened. Or maybe I just don't have enough to get any wool.
You should. So if you scroll up, so you got 6. So what happens is every once in a while, the Hive node we use,
Hmm.
like it just doesn't update the API. You still get paid out for those Ravens. It's just not showing.
Oh, it's not
Because
showing
if
here.
yeah, if you could do the math, you're getting 2.698 for the Woo Alpha, and then if you minus that from the Woo, that's what you're getting from the Ravens.
Ah,
It's
okay.
just when the last ping came back for the payout, it just basically had an error from the
Hmm.
Hive engine node we're using, and
Got it.
so it
Okay.
didn't update correctly. But you got paid out correctly.
So let's quickly talk about the Woo airdrop. You're doing a full year on this thing. Looks like you guys started just about a month ago on July 13th.
Yep.
How like what's the thought process for letting it last a year rather than just doing a snapshot or doing a couple months?
Oh, we wanted to give people the opportunity. We wanted to give people ample opportunity to be able to have a part of, or be able to get some of that token. The
Okay.
last thing we wanted to do was essentially airdrop all the token to just all the people that had assets, because there's a very few number of people. Like I said, we've been doing a very steady natural growth, and I'm
Yeah.
proud of that. That we some of these projects you see, they obviously buy follows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Their project is super inflated. You'll see a 50,000 person Discord with 5 people chatting. So like, I've seen that numerous times. And the last thing I wanted to do was be like, hey, here for a few people, here's everything. We wanted to
True. Yeah.
give everyone the chance and ample opportunity. And also, I wanted it to build up to the game release.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. So we'll probably expect the game at some point by or after July 13th.
That's what I would say. Yeah,
Okay.
it'd be pretty safe to say that.
Very cool. Okay. And so holding assets, or at least holding packs right now, will get you that. Staking, we can jump over to the staking side, is getting you a pretty decent APY at the time. And you guys
Oh
just
yeah.
launched the HP delegation, which I think is really cool.
Which has blown me away, actually. When I look at some of the
Hmm.
delegations, we've already got 69,000 HP delegated to us.
That's
I'm
awesome.
super, yeah, like, and for example, Yabat Matt, the founder and one of the founders and the dev over at Splinterlands,
Splinterlands.
yep, delegated 10K HP, and it's
Wow,
really cool. And
that's
I'll say
awesome.
this right now, I have to put over Splinterlands and Hive Engine. So without Splinterlands and Hive Engine, we would be dead in the water. This would not exist at all.
Hmm.
I can safely tell you that with 100% certainty. Splinterlands did something really cool by showing people a way to do something very cheaply, and it's learning from them has been invaluable. But also Aggie, I brought this idea to Aggie very early on. I want to say just after September, like after probably only a month of really developing this. And I told him what we had. We didn't have anyone for a staff at that point, and it was no
Hmm.
developers. I'm not a developer. I don't know a line of code at all. But I have a passion, I have a drive, and I'm able to get people to work on a team on one constant idea.
Hmm.
And when I brought it to Aggie, he showed me a way that, hey, this is how you could release this and get this going with very little up front, and then you build from there. And that's
Hmm.
exactly what we've done. And the whole team over there has been amazing. I'll just say that when as how we know each other is from being a part of the Splinterlands team. I'm a video editor working on the multimedia team, which
Hmm.
is with Aftersound a lot. And uh, when I did my staff introduction during the town hall, Aggie let me shout out Woo and tell the community about Wrestling Organization Online, which he did not have to do.
Yeah.
And it is super super cool. I was blown away. I was like, oh, awesome! He's gonna let me talk about it for a minute. Sweet, thanks so much.
With the
Like,
audience that you have there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, there and we're very niche. We're a Hive blockchain NFT wrestling game. It's a very very very
Yeah.
specific audience.
True.
Um, but like I said, it's something that I'm passionate about, and it's going to be really cool to see how this continues to grow. Like, it's been under a year
Hmm.
so far, and we've been hitting our deadlines when it comes to our roadmap. We've never missed a thing. Everything we've said we were going to do, we've done, and that's very important to me as a leader of this kind of new movement we're doing. Is My word means something to me. When I say something, I mean it, and I'm going to deliver on that. And if I do not deliver on that, I take that very, very, very personally. And
Gotcha.
so I'm very compelled to keep delivering on my promises, keep living up to my word, because in the end, that's all we got, and it makes us who we
Hmm.
are.
Yeah, no, totally understand where you're coming from, and yeah, it's funny because I think a lot of people probably would have guessed the Splinterlands connection for us in the last video that I posted, but yeah, no, it's exciting to see, and I'll give my shout out to the Splinterlands team as well for at the very least, and they probably did this unintentionally, but just being so transparent through what they do in the project that they're creating with all the different town halls, like they created almost like a blueprint for how you can set up these games on Hive, and
A hundred
uh,
percent. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot more pop up. And whether or not the projects succeed or not is really just due to the execution of the team ultimately, right? But now there's a way to do this without without any kind of crazy upfront. Like you need the passion like you have, and some technical know-how, which actually I would love to chat with you. We can chat offline. But it amazes me that you are not technical at all and are creating a Web3 game on Hive Engine. So I've been kind of like fantasizing about this, and I don't even know how to go about it. So more so to just pick your brain and see how that is. But this is proof that, like, if you have a passion for something, all it really comes down to is finding a way to execute it. And where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, and I honestly believe in this is going to sound corny, but I believe in the universe wanting things to exist. And the
Mm-hmm.
way this has come about and grown, the universe wants this to exist. I am 100% convinced of that. This is
Mm-hmm.
this is looking to do something really cool, something really positive, and that makes me feel good. So,
No,
as
not
long as we can keep building that.
yeah. I no, I mean that's not corny at all. I'm sure other people will look at that and call it woo woo, right? But it's
Yeah.
there's a part of it. I mean, there's a part of it where it's just like, when you try to will something into existence, I do believe that, and call it dumb luck, call it sheer brute force, force of will. But sometimes, like, when you're trying to create something and put it out there, things just align in the most
Hmm.
unexpected ways to allow you to put it out there. So I totally understand the sentiment of, like, the universe wants this to exist, because it didn't throw roadblocks at the very least. And it sounds like you've had some well, you guys have had obviously some tremendous success over the past 7+ months.
Oh yeah, selling out of our sales, and this was something that blew me away is we didn't have a game for
Mm-hmm.
anything. We had blog posts and we were talking about what we would want to do, and we were able to sell $20,000 at during a pre-sale, which was a whitelisted pre-sale. We were able to sell $20,000 with, a wish and a dream, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, we've built on it to showcase, like, hey, this is what we're looking to do. We're gonna give you a game that's this or better,
Yeah.
and and as we move along, it's really cool how this is growing. It is growing with the community too.
Mm-hmm.
The community has a big say in everything, because I sit in the Discord and I read every single message.
Mm-hmm.
If and I'm very approachable, and I've heard this a lot from other people that, like, they really like to put over Woo, like, man, this is like the best thing on Hive other than Splinterlands. This is the next big thing. And I've had people that are like, oh, Bookerman, he's like, they see me in a different way, I guess. Like, I'm not approachable. Like, you could
Mm-hmm.
you could shoot me a DM and ask me a question, I'll answer it. Like,
Yeah.
uh, I will sit down and talk with people and discuss Woo, because I believe in what we're doing, not only in the game, but how we're looking to uh, to change people's lives, and
Yeah.
give back to an entire industry. And it is also about the game, having a fun game that is enjoyable to play. And speaking of the game, let me give you an outline of how I see this game playing out
Oh, I would
here
love that.
here next year.
I was actually just going to ask, because I had a chance to try the mini game earlier today after watching you do a demonstration of it on the AMA yesterday. So.
Oh yeah, perfect. So what we're looking to do is every single player is going to be their own wrestling organization. You're going to be a promoter, and you are going to have the NFTs, the wrestling NFTs. Think of those as more like, almost like contracts. Like, these are the wrestlers you have access to,
Hmm.
and you are actually going to travel around and there's going to be different cities, and these different cities are going to be in different territories. So there's going to be 20 territories that are going to have a number of cities in them, and each of those territories is its own pool of rewards. And so, as you're traveling around to different cities running your shows, you're going to be incentivized to go to different territories because maybe this pool hasn't been drawn from as much. And it's going to give you incentive to travel around. And I'll get
Hmm.
to why that's important here in a little bit. But when you go to a city, each city has a different some different stats, like for example, fan base, population, and wealth. And depending on those numbers will depend on how many people would go to your show and how much they're looking to spend. So if you and I were gonna run a match, say we go to the same city and we click the button run match. From there, we are going to be taken to a matchup, like a matchmaking screen, where think of the old posters, wrestling posters, where you have, Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan in the steel
Hmm.
cage match for the title in the main event. And then you have, a few other people on the poster in their matches. That's the kind of the screen you're going to see. Um,
Okay.
every every show has a budget also, like you can only spend so much to bring in talent. So for example, your Titan, you could bring Titan in, but he might have a cost of 10 or something
Hmm.
like that, and you can't go above your budget number. um, and there's going to be 4 matches, 3 undercard matches in the main event. Main event is going to have a special stipulation, like a steel cage match, a dog collar match, which have different rule sets for that main event. The undercard matches will be 1 tag team match, 1 female match, and 1 male match. The main event will be random out of one of those 3 categories.
Okay.
So you're going to drag your NFTs from your side to the side of the poster that you're on, and you don't know what your opponent's choosing. It's to be
Hmm.
determined. And so you will set up and choose who you want. And where managers come into play is you can only use one manager on one match per show. And they give huge boosts. Like they might increase your speed, they might interfere in your match, they might
Hmm.
distract your opponent. And once you choose your side, uh, and their opponent chooses their side, and you both hit submit, then we see the fully built out poster, and we'll see, you chose Mad Mike versus Billy Mayhem in the
Hmm.
main event, and it would actually build out the poster that way. And then
Oh,
after
cool.
you see that poster, you would hear the announcer, in our first match we have blah 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 versus blah blah blah, and then we'd see the entrances of those 2 players, and it's an auto battler to where
Hmm.
we would watch the match as it plays out. Each character will have 3 moves. Moves can either be normal, submission, pinfall, or finishers.
Okay.
Normal moves just do normal damage. Pinfalls attempt a pinfall. Submissions attempt a submission. And then finishing moves do double damage and then go for a pinfall or a submission, depending on the move. Uh, you have your attack value, you have your speed also, and then you have your health. So, for example, say Titan was attacking or was battling Billy Mayhem. So,
Hmm.
as we see, Billy Mayhem there has 6 speed, which is the number right above the 1.
Hmm.
So that he has 6 speed. Titan only has 1 speed. So when Titan swings at Billy Mayhem, he has a 50% chance of missing, 10% for
For
each.
each
Yep,
difference.
one difference. But if Titan does hit, he would do damage, and then the next round he would do his second maneuver. If Titan misses his second maneuver on the third round, he's back to maneuver 1. And
Oh,
so
okay.
speed is incredibly important. You want
Yeah.
to be able to hit your opponent and move to your finisher as quickly as possible because you're doing the most damage. And the more damage you do when you go for a pinfall or submission, the more likely it is that they pin or submit their opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so you would watch the first match, and then we'd hear the announcer again. And in our second match, we have blah blah blah, and then we would watch that auto battle, and again we would go all the way through to the main event. Uh, how the winner is determined is undercards are worth 1 point, 1 victory point. Main events are worth 2 victory points. So you
Okay.
either have to do a clean sweep of the undercard, or you have to win one undercard and the main event to be able to
Yeah.
win.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
and then when the winner is determined, they will get a payout of the Woo token, and that the owner of the land, like say for example, we were battling on my land
Mm-hmm.
because I own the city, I would actually get a percentage of every match that
Oh, that's cool.
runs. So yeah, so that's why it's important to incentivize people to travel to different territories, go to different cities, so that people are constantly moving around, giving landowners passive income. So you can play the
Well,
game
why
as a
wouldn't they want to
landowner.
just stay on their own land at that point?
So it depends. So you wouldn't want, if you are sitting on your own land and running matches. We're gonna So if you own land, you're going to be able to run more of your matches on land you own than if someone is using your land. So every time we run a match in a city,
Mm-hmm.
we are going to reduce how much we earn from that city, and it's also going to reduce how much we earn in that territory. So at some point you're going to want to leave that territory because you've reduced your earnings in that area. You burnt out the territory. You now have to go another place to get fans.
Interesting. Okay. But if that burnt out is only for you, if somebody else comes in with a different promotion, then they start from the top, I guess? Or is it
So
just
so so that explanation was if me and you are playing on someone else's land in another territory where we don't own that land, you're
Mhm.
going to burn out that territory. So the average player is just going to have to constantly keep moving to maximize their rewards. uh,
Okay.
a player that owns their land, like if I own my own piece of land and I'm just sitting there, running matches, I can still run matches, but and I'll still get a decrease on how much I earn, but it'll be slower than the average person that doesn't own that land.
Got it. Okay.
And so you'll still want to at some point leave, and also you might have some land that you haven't upgraded yet. For example, you need to build an arena on your land for people to come to, because everyone's going to start out with essentially a dirt plot.
Mhm.
So you have to first get a ticket booth, then you have to start, you might end up getting into a hall and then upgrade to an actual arena, and then at the very top level you'll upgrade to a Titanic stadium. And this stadium, uh, all those different venues will have a capacity. So if you have a huge population, you're going to need big venues to maximize how many people can actually get in the door to watch the show.
Okay. This is cool. So can you talk more about because land isn't out yet, so I'm wondering if you could talk more about what the timeline for that would be. I know it's sometime next year, right? And like how many plots and all that.
Yeah, so we're looking at and right now this is all tentative. This is
Sure.
still being figured and decided on. And I brought this up in the AMA yesterday. We have 20 territories right now where a portion a portion of the land is going to be owned by the game, so that if no one ever bought land, people could still play the game.
Sure.
uh,
Okay.
so it's kind of like a beginner area where people can play. But the land sale we're looking at next year, we're thinking maybe quarter 1, possibly into quarter 2. We want to make sure uh, we give plenty of time for people to buy land. Again, 20 territories and 200,000 total plots of land. So what is that? I want to say it's
You said
10,000. No, it's 200,000 plots of land on 20 territories. So
So
is it? I
two.
think it's 2,000.
What are we multiplying here? There's 20 territories times 200.
20, there's 200,000 territories and or excuse me 200,000 plots and 20 territories. So that's 10,000 per plot or per territory. 10,000 cities per territory.
Oh, okay. All right. I get what you're
Yep.
going for. Oh, so
Yep.
200,000 total plots.
200,000 total plots.
I was
Yeah.
multiplying it the other way. I was like, I think you're gonna have 4 million plots. That's a lot.
Yeah. No, and yeah, so it would be yeah, 10,000 plots per territory. A portion of plots are going to be given to staff too in each territory,
Hmm.
and that's also to make sure that not one person can just own an entire territory.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. As far as the land sale goes, we're going to give a benefit for the Woo token where if you use pay for it with a portion of your Woo token, you'll actually be getting for a discount. We haven't come to a final price yet, but we're honestly we're thinking like $20 a plot,
Hmm.
15 if you pay with some Woo, which is a pretty nice discount there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and there's ample time between now and the end of the year, or at least Q1, to start collecting that woo, either by holding assets in the game or staking some of it right now.
That's where the benefit of the general sale comes in. So again, when you buy in on the general sale, $2 a pack, and that's going to be payable in Woo, and that's going to be price of Woo at time of the sale.
Hmm.
So as you're buying packs, if you buy 100 packs, so say you spend $200, if you buy 100 packs, this is what you're going to get. You would get 100 Woo Alpha packs, then you will get airdropped 100 reward packs, which have our created wrestlers from our community. And those actually have 66% of the remaining airdrops, so they're actually going to be a huge portion of what daily airdrops are. Like I said,
Mm.
66% of the remaining airdrops are in those reward packs. And as those reward packs are opened up, it's just going to keep increasing the airdrop points for each individual pack from then on.
So these
Uh,
reward packs they're given out based on how many packs you buy in the general sale.
Yep, it's a 1-to-1. It's the same with like how we did with the Saturn. If you bought a
Ah,
hundred
okay.
Woo Alpha, you got 100 Saturn. If you bought 100 Woo Alpha during the Raven sale, you got 100 Raven. Um, and the
Oh
other cool
man.
thing
Okay.
is, yeah, and the other cool thing is, if you buy 100 packs, you're guaranteed to get a Sunny Ono licensed NFT, which is going to be one of the best mining cards. Because if you go back to the math, a legendary licensed wrestler got you 2,080 mining points. The manager is going to give you a times 2 multiplier on that. So you're going to have over 4,000 mining point potential with just that one NFT.
Okay.
If you get a gold belt version of it, you have close to 500,000 mining points. It's going to be insane.
Wow. Okay.
Uh, and gold belts are incredibly rare. There's going to be 6 Sunny Onos that, or excuse me, 600 Sunny Onos that get distributed. 300 are going to be there for the people that buy 100 or more. And then whatever's remaining left over is going to be airdropped to people depending on how many they bought.
Gotcha. Okay. There's a lot of exciting stuff happening in October, it sounds like.
Yeah,
To
like
lead up to the land. Hmm.
October is gonna be a big play for a lot of people to really build their woo leading up to land sale in
Hmm.
quarter 1, quarter 2, and then building up to the game. Because again, once the game's released, your land is out there. It can start earning you money. Excuse me, earning you more woo, and you have to upgrade your land by burning woo to upgrade your land. So it's going to be very very interesting to see how people upgrade their land and how that all starts. And that will be coming, like I said, about a year from now.
Okay. Well, okay. So, and I want to be respectful of your time, so we can wrap up. I have a couple more questions. I know it's
Go
not
for it.
on on the white paper here, but Woo is a capped token. And so, what I really like is the fact that with the upcoming sale for Alpha as well as with Land, it looks like there's going to be built-in utility as it is going to be the payment model or the payment currency accepted for both of those, or at least for Land, it'll also offer some kind of benefit, as you said, on the
Hmm.
Land side. So I guess I can look it up later, but if you have it off the top of your head, what's the hard cap for that? And I know that there's a distribution schedule as well, but I want to ask more about the tokenomics for Woo long term. And then you did mention on the AMA yesterday that there would be this other token, which for I guess for Splinterlands folks, you kind of gave it a parallel as like a DEC where it's it's not hard capped, and I'm just curious how those will interplay with one another in the long term vision for the tokenomics of Woo.
Yeah, so Woo has a hard cap of 3 billion. And that's all the Woo that is ever gonna exist. And that's gonna be distributed over a bunch of different ways: airdrops, NFT mining, LP rewards, team and dev, private sale, and also play to earn. Our play to earn token is 35% of all the Woo. So that's 1 billion 50 million
Mhm.
token that will be up for players to win. And we have a release schedule which is issued over 60 months once 60 months once the game releases. So it's not going to be until the game releases that that inflation starts to go out.
Yeah.
Um, and that is again 60 months. That's over the course of 5 years.
Yep.
um, and as I was talking yesterday, when it comes to sustainability, like you really can't indefinitely sustain a play to earn game with, you know, an uncapped token. It's that's really really difficult. You know, you
Mhm.
would have to give out such little bits of it, and like once you run out, you run out. So we are going to go down the route of releasing a secondary token which does not have a cap. Again, it won't have voting power in the DAO. It won't have many of the benefits that the Woo token does have. But it is going to be our reward token, and we are going to be releasing more information on utility. One thing I really want to do in the future is once Woo is up and running and rocking and rolling, we will be running real life shows with real life
Oh,
wrestlers
cool.
and using it as a marketing tool, and also an onboarding tool for Hive, where if you could buy your tickets or buy into certain actual like VIP packages that you can only buy in with our Infinite token or our governance token. So again, we're always looking at how can we give maximum utility to everything we release.
Gotcha. Okay. So the uncapped token that'll be coming online at some point in the future will be kind of the long term plan to migrate over to, at least in your thinking right now.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that it would you would that's the only way you could always really sustain it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we could always have some Woo rewards that go out too over the long term by doing buybacks and stuff like that. But again, there is a chance that, you know, how unlikely it is, someone could buy as much Woo as possible and just burn it all. You know, someone,
Yeah.
someone could be the Joker and just want to see it all burn. So
Fair enough. Okay.
that is very unlikely, but you know, there's you have to, in my opinion, have a uncapped token for play to earn rewards. Like that's the only way you could foreseeably have that go on indefinitely.
Interesting. Okay. Well, it's interesting to see you guys kind of doing the opposite of what Splinterlands is doing right now. For the first 4 years, they had DEC as their uncapped token as the rewards, and now they're migrating over to SPS, which should be interesting. But I do wonder what happens after 65 months, right? Well, according to their white paper. So again, I'm sure you're thinking this through. I'm sure they're thinking this through, but also a lot can change over a 5.5 year period. So,
Oh yeah.
um, you know, all right. Well, that's. I appreciate you kind of indulging me in going into that a little bit further, because it's like I said, it was just fascinating to see the approach that you guys have, kind of being a mirror opposite.
Yeah, and I mean, I looked at a lot of different tokenomics too, and different ideas. I was looking at uh, I mean, when you're on the Hive blockchain, how can you not look at SPS? We also looked at some other tokens, like for example, the One Up token, other tokens that were on Hive, and other tokens that weren't in on the same ecosystem, Continuum World, uh, and the like. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Gotcha. Cool, Matt. Well, I want to, like I said, I want to be respectful of your time, so we can go ahead and wrap things up here. But just want to give you a chance to talk about any other things that are either coming in the short term, near term, or midterm, long term. Anything else that you want to share about Woo that we haven't covered here, and then we can go into, or we can wrap it up with the just where people can find you, and I'll make sure to add those links to the description.
yeah, I think the coolest thing that I'm most proud of that we're going to be releasing is actually championship titles. So,
Oh, I just read
uh,
about that. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, so what we call our guilds in this game is promotions. So you're an organization, but you can join a promotion, which is a collective of people, and you could actually mint your own NFT championship, which people you could put up in a tournament. People can fight over for it, and it would automatically transfer ownership on the blockchain every time it's put up. And we incentivize people putting that title on the line by giving them extra payouts because it's a championship match.
Yeah.
And so you can have some really, really interesting events take place. And I just love the idea of a blockchain title that just goes from person to person to person. I think that's just really cool.
Yeah, oh, and this will be a burning mechanism for Woo as well, which, as we were just talking
Yes.
about, is hard cap. So there can't be unlimited titles. There will be a limited amount of them, which makes it even better.
Yep, and we've had people bring up like, oh, what if someone gets a title but never puts it on the line? The creator of that would be able to vacate titles. You would pay a fee.
Hmm.
We haven't decided if that we would be burnt or if that would just be taken in. Uh, but people would pay a fee to vacate their title, and it would take it away, and then because it would give ownership back to the one who created it
Okay.
because what it's kind of doing is it's delegating it out to other users. So the champion doesn't own it. If your champion won it,
Hmm.
you don't own it. It's just delegated to you, and
There
then
would
it
have to
could
be a
be
period of inactivity, though, right? Because otherwise, people will just be
yes.
calling the belts if they lose.
Exactly, exactly. There'll be a cooldown period. Plus, there'll also be a fee to incentivize people not to just call it back all the time because they're gonna have to constantly be paying back
True.
Woo. And
Yeah.
then when they put it back up, they list it back in there. They have to. There's another fee. So you kind of get hit twice if you vacate it for no reason.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Cool. Well, this man, there's a lot of really really exciting things that I feel like you guys are working on, because even whether it's from the gameplay mechanics, which I appreciate you going into detail on, to kind of the game economy design here. Again, it's hard to. I'm somebody who's very deep into the Splinterlands world, so it's cool to be able to look at something and say, like, okay, well, not that you guys copied. I'm not trying to say that. Not that at all. In fact, what I'm trying to say is it's cool to see that you guys designed something that's completely on its own, but inspired by Splinterlands, if that makes sense.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I don't take any disrespect in people like, "Oh, cuz that's an easy onboarding point for
Hmm.
Hive." And again, they showed a way that this could be done that you can make it your own and it will this will succeed. It just seems
Yeah.
like, it was it's very much its own unique thing in the way the game plays out, though. It might have some similarities, like, oh, cost, speed, damage, health. I understand that,
Yeah.
but the way it plays out is very unique to itself, but you can see the hint of Splinterland's inspiration.
Well, sorry, and I don't mean to. My goal or my intention wasn't to shade it like that. I was actually trying to call out the fact that, like, when
No, for
going through
sure.
this and learning it, this is very much its own kind of game that's doing its own thing. And what I love about it too is the real world parallels and the real world connection that it has to people, right? To the wrestlers, and then to these potential in-person events. Because when you think about it, right? Like, I'm very big on esports coming into the blockchain space. I've talked at length about it for Splinterlands, but wrestling is actually something that people consider it a sport here, right? Or at least the competitive nature of it. And
Hmm.
so the parallels are much easier for people to draw. And now that you'll be able to, or at least, sorry, not now, but in the future, you'll be able to have these kind of in-person events, makes it really exciting. Because not only are people going to be playing this game on the internet, right, in magical web space, but you'll be able to do really cool things in the real world for it as well. And there's already this massive real world in-person audience for wrestling. And so if you can
Hmm.
tap into that, there's just so much potential for this, which makes me really excited for you guys.
I feel the exact same way. I feel like this is, again, a very unique thing that we're looking to do. Blockchain or territory wrestling on the blockchain, real world utility, uh, really trying to change the industry for a whole class of workers. There's a lot of stuff we're looking to do, and we're very, very proud of what we've been able to do. And we wouldn't have been able to do this without the community we've been able to build. And that's a big testament to Hive itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Cool, man. Well, like I said, I appreciate you taking the time. This is a lot of fun to dig into, and I hope that we can maybe do it again in the future. You're welcome to come back on whenever there's another major release or something that you want to promote. But for now, where can people find you? Where's the best places? I would highly recommend, and I'm going to add this myself, the Discord, because I jumped in and on day one, minute one, you guys were answering all my questions and being super helpful. But are there any other places aside from Discord that you want people to connect with you or to go check out?
Yeah, I would say the Discord is obviously the best place. You can always find us on the Hive blogger Peak D at RestOrg Online. We have put out a ton of blogs, a ton of
Mhm.
posts, and we'll continue to do so. Checking us out on Twitter, twitter.com/RestOrg Online, or at RestOrg Online,
Mhm.
WRESTORG Online. The simplest way, though, is just going to our website, www.wrestlingorganizationonline.com, and it should have all the links you need, either on the main page or in the little hamburger menu.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds good. I was gonna try and go there now. You said wrestling organization online. There we go. It's
Organizationonline.com.
already
Boom.
saved. Yep.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. And then there's a little countdown. As you can see, there's 77 days left till the general sale.
There we go.
Yep, and we'll be updating this as we go, but any of the links that you would need would be either on there directly or up at the top. There's a little hamburger
Oh, here
menu.
it is. Yeah.
Yep, and so there's basically everything you need to know all in there.
Awesome, man. Well, like I said, Bookerman, I appreciate you coming on, and this was a fun chat. I'm excited to see where you guys go with this, and I want to wish you best of luck.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.